everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is this absolutely stunning, adorable baby blanket. Now I call this the peekaboo baby blanket because I thought it was cute with all the slanted holes. This blanket measures 35 inches wide by 41.5 inches long. Now, I know that's a tad bit big for a baby blanket, but I loved this, and I wanted it to show off the holes in this, you know, how they're slanted. Now, I know on video right now it's kind of not doing it justice, but I can't get it all on camera. So check out that thumbnail picture, and I'm going to get that as best as I can for, you know, you guys to be able to see the holes and the slants in it. Alright, so what are we going to need to get started with this? You are going to need a skein of any 4-weight yarn. For that baby blanket, I use Caron 1 pound. Now this is a Century collection in the color Hollyhock. Now I do want to say that it is probably going to take one whole skein if you're making my size. One whole skein, which is 812 yards, plus a little bit of another one. Now, if you're not making my size, then I'd say you're probably good at one skein. However, this color of Caron 1 pound, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed how some colors of, well, for instance, Red Heart is that way too, is this way too. The color, certain colors have different thicknesses. Like I could pull out a Caron 1 pounder in a different color and the yarn will not be anywhere near as thick as this one is. So I would say any 4-weight will work. This one I am using a 6mm hook. I would say you could probably pull off working a 6mm hook on any other 4-weight. Mine is just a tad bit stiffer, which I'm sure it'll soften up when it gets washed and dried. What I was trying to say, I'm sorry, I got way off track there. What I was trying to say was you need to make sure you're going to have, you know, if you're going to do Red Heart, get the Red Heart jumbos. I'm not 100% sure how many yards are in those, but you're going to need at least, go for 1,000. Get 1,000 yards, and if you have enough left, that's awesome, because guess what? I have a matching pattern, pillow pattern, and I'm going to have a matching cardigan pattern too. So you can use that up. Okay, so get your yarn, and you're going to need your needle, your scissors, 6mm crochet hook, and I am going to suggest pen and paper or a stitch counter, which I don't have one right here. Hold on. So just when I get started on my tutorial, and I think I've got everything here that I'm going to need, there's always something I forget. Okay, so I suggest a row count, or this is actually a stitch counter. I'm pretty sure they're primarily used in knitting, but I use mine in crocheting all the time because to keep count of the row I'm on. To keep track of the row I'm on, I should say. But pen and pencil, or pen and paper will work too, guys. So the reason I'm saying this is because this baby blanket is actually an 18 row repeat. But don't panic. I know that's a big row repeat, but the part of the what makes all those rows different from the others is the way the row ends, or begins and ends. So once you get down the pattern, I'm going to say, it's really easy. You just need to refer back to this video or the pattern on Etsy and look at the way the row starts and the row ends. So that's going to be the most complicated part of this baby blanket, because, let me pull this back out. This baby blanket consists of 7 double crochets. And that is what, well, if I could lay it straight, here we go. That is what the stitch pattern, this is upside down. The stitch pattern consists of 7 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what makes these holes in the slants are chain 2s. So what we're doing is we're chaining 2, working our 7 double crochet, and shift, shift, shift. So each time we shift is what is making that chain 2 slant, because we're shifting it over, over, over. So 7 double crochets and chain 2. And now what makes it different for each row is because, well, for instance, on this row, we work this way. So we chain 2, 2 double crochet go into the chain 2 from the previous row, and then 5 double crochet across. Now for the row above it, we work the 5 double crochet, then the chain 2 into the chain 2. So basically the only thing that separates rows going this way and rows going this way is the 2 double crochet at the beginning and at the end. It'll make more sense once we work this pattern, okay? All right, so the stitch multiple for this pattern is 9 plus 2. So 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9 plus 2. Now for that baby blanket, I chained 128. So 126 is divisible by 9, 13 times? Is that right? 13 times? Close. I was close. Okay, so 126 is divisible by 9 14 times. So that's 9 14 times, and then we add 2 for the 128. Now, like I said, that blanket measures 41.5 inches wide. So you guys can do any multiple you want to do for your baby blanket. So, okay, so I chained 128 for mine. But for this tutorial, I'm going to go with a little bit smaller of a chain. I think I'm going to work 9 times 4 is 36, plus 2 is 38. So I'm going to work a little chain of 38. You guys work your chain as long as you want your baby blanket, and then come back here and we're going to get started. Okay, I've got my chain done, and then I've got my little post-it here so you guys can refer back to this video, and whenever you're rewinding it, like if you take your finger and you hold the little ball on your timeline and you just pull it to the left or the right, whichever, you're going to see this number change, so that way you guys can always come back and see what row you're on. Okay, so like I said earlier, I worked a chain of 36 plus 2 for my 9999 plus 2 for 38. So once you guys get your chain done, come back here and we are going to start with row 1. So row 1 is a double crochet in the 3rd chain from hook. So that's 1, 2, 3. So we double crochet right in there. And now we're just going to double crochet into each chain all the way down our chain. So the pattern repeat for this baby blanket is row 4 through 21. So you're going to work 4 through 21, 4 through 21, 4 through 21, and that's how we get the nice and even slants. And, you know, obviously the chain 2 holes are the slants. Alright, so you guys go ahead and double crochet into each double down your chain, and then we'll come back and we're going to move on to row 2. Alright. Okay, to finish off row 1, I got one more double crochet to work into. Or, I'm sorry, chain. Okay, so that is the end of row 1. So you should just have a long length of chain of double crochets. Alright, so to move on to row 2, I'm getting ready to waste a bunch of post-its, but that's alright. To move on to row 2, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to double crochet into that very first double. And now we're going to double crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. So we have 4 double crochets right there. Now we're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, And now we're going to double crochet into the next 6. So that we already have 1. So we need 7. So I'm sorry, I don't want to confuse you guys. What I meant by that is that we skip 2, double crochet into the next double, and now we need a row of 7 doubles. So we're going to double crochet into the next 6 for a total of 7 together. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I do not know what that sound is. Hold on. Sorry about that. The neighbor was mowing his yard. Alright, so we worked chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 7. And that's what we're going to repeat down your blanket. So we did 7 doubles, 3, 6, 7. Now we start over. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 7. Now repeat that all the way down your chain, or I'm sorry, dang it, your baby blanket. And come back here and I'm going to show you how we end row 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you're going to repeat that all the way down until you get to the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 5 doubles and then that chain 2 at the beginning that we're going to work into. Okay, so what you're going to do, we're going to chain 2, skip 2, and we're going to double crochet into the last 4. So that's 1, 2, 3 doubles, and then that chain 2. So skip 2, 1, 2, 3, and right into the side of that chain for 4. And that is the end of row 2. Now it is going to kind of want to bunch up a little bit. Now, let me show you. There, like that. It'll come out of it. Don't worry about that. Okay, so now we are going to move on to row 3. And row 3, all we're going to do is same as all the rest of the rows in this pattern. We chain 1 and turn. Chain 1 and turn. All right, so row 3, we double crochet into the very first double. And now we're going to double crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now what we're going to do is we're going to work 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space. So what we're doing, this is our first, what's the word I'm looking for? The first, I can't think of the word. Where we're moving that chain 2 hole, we're just shifting. That's what I'm trying to say. We're shifting it to the left. And the way we do that is 2 double crochets into that chain 2. Now we chain 2, and for us to be able to move it, we got to skip 2. So we skip 2, and now we double crochet into the next 5. So see how it just shifted that to the left? Well, on camera right now, it's my left. I don't know if it's the same. All right, so we chain 2, skip 2, and now we got 5. And then our last 2 is going to be in the chain 2 space for that, and that's our set of 7. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we work our last 2 into the chain 2 space. And that is how we repeat for row 3. Now we start it over again with chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 5. And 5. Now we work our last 2 doubles into the chain 2 space. Okay. Got a knot here. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, so we worked our last 2 into our chain 2, so we started over, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we work our 2 doubles into the chain 2. And you repeat that all the way across. Chain 2, skip 2, double into the next 5, work your last 2 into your chain 2, start over. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 5, 2 into your chain 2, start it over. Chain 2, skip 2, next 5, into your last chain 2, and to finish off row 3, we worked our 2 into the chain 2. We're in chain 2. So we chain 2, skip 2, and we're going to double crochet into the last 2. 1 and 2. So that is the end of row 3. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And row 4 is the first row of our repeat, which is 4 through 21. So you can see that. All right. So row 4, we chained 1 and we turned. We're going to double crochet into the very first double. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, and we're going to work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space. 1 and 2. Now why 1? Why did I just chain 1? Well, the reason I wanted to do it like this is because if you keep doing the chain 2s, eventually along the edges, both edges actually, it's going to get really holy with all those huge chain 2 spaces, you know, going up the side. So occasionally if you throw in a chain 1 and skip 1, it helps with the stitch count, first of all, when you're designing them. Second of all, it helps that side from getting way too, like it'll start doing this up the side of the blanket, and that's not what we want. So right here for row 4, we're going to work a chain 1. Then you're going to skip 1, 2 double crochet into your chain 2. So now remember, like I told you guys, this blanket consists of 7 double crochets, and all we're doing is just shifting it one way, one direction when we're working the blanket one way, and then when we chain 1 and turn, it's a different direction. So this row started with the, or I'm sorry, ended with the 2 double crochet into the chain 2, whereas row 4 starts with the 2 double crochet into the chain 2. So you can imagine the next part we need to do is double crochet into the next 5 doubles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, look how many that leaves us with. 2. So we chain 2, skip 2, start back in our chain 2 space. And that's how we're going to shift when we're working this way. We're shifting that way. Crystal clear, right? Okay, so we got our 2 doubles in our chain 2 space. Now we're going to double into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now there's our 2. So we need to shift that chain 2 space this way. So we chain 2, skip 2, start our set over again with 2 in the chain 2 space, 1 in the next 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2. There's our 2 we're going to skip. Go right back into your chain 2 space with 2 doubles, and we're going to finish off with our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 left, chain 2, skip 2, start your set over again. And that's what you're going to repeat all the way across for row 4, okay? Now to end row 4, we are going to skip 2. We're going to work 2 double crochet into our chain 2. Now we're going to double crochet into the last stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 more for 6. So that is the end of row 6. Yes, there are only 6 here, but we're going to do that instead of working the 7 because we got that space over here. All right, so that's the end of row 4. Now we're going to move on to row 5. All right, row 5, as always, chain 1 and turn. All right, so for row 5, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work 1 double crochet into the very first double. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start a new peekaboo hole to start working, you know, up the side, or up slanted through the middle. If I could speak today. Okay, so we got 1 double crochet in the very first double, and we're going to start our set. So we chain 2, skip 2, work into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now to shift our hole, we got to work the 2 double into the chain 2. And then to create our hole, we chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 into our chain 2, and start our repeat over again. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 double into our chain 2, and repeat your set again. Chain 2, double crochet into the next 5, 2 into your chain 2, and so on. Okay, so repeat that across, and to end row 5, we're going to skip 2, double crochet into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to double crochet into that little chain space, and then we're going to double crochet into the very last double crochet. And that's how we end row 5. So you can see the concept of what I meant when at the beginning when I was saying that this blanket, the pattern consists of 7 double crochets that we're just shifting by chaining 2 and skipping 2. Okay, that was the end of row 5. Now we are going on to row 6. And to start that, of course, we work our chain 1 and turn. In row 6, we are going to double crochet into our very first double. And now we're going to double crochet into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to chain 2, skip 2, 2 double into our chain 2. So you can see how when we're working this direction, we're skipping it. We got to shift that chain 2 this way. So skip 2 and then go right into your normal pattern. 2 double crochet into your chain 2, double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we should have 2 doubles left, and we shift that chain 2 space by skipping 2 and working your 2 double crochet into the chain 2, and then going into your next 5. So that is the repeat for row 6. One more. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 doubles into your chain 2 space, double crochet into the next 5 for a set of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And to end row 7, or I'm sorry, row 6, we are going to chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochet into our last chain 2 right here, and a double crochet into the very last one, which you might have to rotate just a little bit to see. There it is. And that is the end of row 6. So it's coming out pretty cute. I love this pattern. Okay, so that was the end of row 6. So to move on, we chain 1 and turn, and row 7. We double crochet into that very first double. And then we double crochet into the next 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Now you can see we need to shift our hole this way now. So we work the 2 double crochet into the chain 2. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Double crochet, 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space. Chain 2 and skip 2 to shift our hole. and we go right into our 5 double crochets, and that's what you're going to repeat for the rest of that row 7. So there's 3, 4, and 5, 2 doubles into the chain 2, skip 2 to shift that chain 2 space, and double into the next 5. 3, 4, and 5, 2 doubles into your chain 2, and to end row 7, we're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the last 3. And 3. And there's the end of row 7. Okay, now on to row 8. Okay, so to move on to row 8, we chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to double crochet into the very first double crochet. All right. Now we're going to chain 2 and skip 2 to shift that chain 2 space over. And we're going to go straight into that chain 2 with 2 doubles to start our set of 7. Double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We should have 2 doubles left. So we chain 2, skip 2, start over our set of 7 over again with 2 doubles into the chain 2. And that's what you're going to repeat all the way across your blanket. Let's see, that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 left, chain 2, skip 2, 2 doubles into the chain 2, double crochet into the next 5. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 double into your chain 2, and all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 double into the chain 2, and double crochet into the last 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is the end of row 8. So I think by now you guys are catching on to the repeat here, how we're shifting that chain 7 over, or chain 7. We're shifting the chain 2 over. All right, so to move on to row 9, we chain 1 and turn. We're going to double crochet into our very first double. And we're going to start a new set, just like we did here and here. But this time we're going to do chain 1 again. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you can see our chain 2 needs to shift this way, so we got to fill that space with 2 doubles, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into your next 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 2 doubles into your chain 2, and start over. chain 2, skip 2, double into the next 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 2 doubles into your chain 2, chain 2, skip 2, double into the next 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so after you repeat that all the way across to end row 9, we are not going to create another hole right here. So we're just going to 2 double crochet into the chain 2 and double into our last double. 1 and 2, and then a double into your very last double, which you're going to have to turn that a little bit to see it. Okay, and that's the end of row 9. So to move on to row 10, we chain 1 and turn. We double crochet into our very first double, and we're going to double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now by now you should be able to look at this and tell what our next step is, right? We're shifting, so we got to chain 2, skip 2, 2 doubles into the chain 2. Double crochet into your next 5. All right, so I'm going to let you finish row 9 and come back, and we are going to finish it off. All right, so you worked row 10 across. Now to end it, we worked 2 double crochet into our last chain 2. Now we double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2, skip 2, and then we're going to double crochet into that little chain 1 and then into our last double crochet. All right, and there's the end of row 10. So to move on to row 11, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to double crochet into our very first double. Oops. Double crochet into our very next double. And you can look and see we're shifting that chain 2 this way, so we got to fill in that chain 2 with 2 doubles. Now to create our next chain 2, skip 2, and we start our pattern. 5, double crochet into the next 5, 3, 4, and 5. Fill our chain 2 space so we can move it. Skip 2, double crochet into your next 5. All right, so you guys got that. Repeat across your row, and we come back and we're going to finish row 11. Alrighty, to end row 11, I worked my last 2 double crochet into my chain 2. We're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is the end of row 11. So to move on to row 12, we chain 1 and turn. Row 12, we double crochet into our very first double. Double crochet into our next double. So we have 2 doubles right here. And now you can look. See how they're all coming this way? So we know we got to shift. So we chain 2, skip 2. 2 double crochet into the chain 2. And then just repeat the pattern. Double crochet into the next 5 for our set of 7. 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 5 doubles. So we chain 2, skip 2, 2 doubles into the chain 2, and double crochet into the next 5. So repeat your pattern across your blanket, and once again come back here, and we are going to move on to row 13. Okay, so to end row 12, I've worked my pattern across. I chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochet into your last chain 2 space, and then a double crochet into the last 4 doubles. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, and that's the end of round 12. So to move on to row 13, chain 1, turn, we double crochet into our very first double. Now we're going to double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now by now you should be able to look at it and see what we do next. We got to shift that chain 2 space. So we got to fill it with 2 doubles, chain 2, skip 2, double into the next 5. So you guys got it from here. So work your pattern repeat all the way across your blanket and come back, and we're going to finish row 13. Chain 2. All right. Okay, so I've repeated my pattern all the way across, and to end row 13, we worked into our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our 5 double crochet. We got to fill our little hole here with 2 doubles. Now to end this, we're going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into your very last double. All right, and that is the end of row 13. So again, to move on to 14, we're getting closer. To move on to row 14, we chain 1 and turn. Turn the page of my pattern here. All right, so for row 14, we double crochet into our very first double. Now we're going to double crochet into that chain 1, and we're going to double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 left. We got to shift that chain 2 by chaining 2, skipping 2, 2 doubles into our chain 2. All right, so you guys know your repeat, your pattern, I should say, for your blanket. Your sets of 7, chain 2, skip 2. So repeat that across and come back here, and we're going to finish off row 14 and move on to row 15. All right. I'll be right back. Okay, so we made it across. Now I worked 2 double crochet into my last chain 2. I'm going to double into the next 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2, skip 2, double into our very last. So what we just did is created a new row of slants right there. All right, so that is the end of row 14. Moving on to row 15. We are going to chain 1 and turn. And we are going to work a double crochet into that very first double. All right, oop, that was a half. Get out of there. All right, so now to move on, we got to move we got to shift our chain 2 space over. So to do that, we know that we work 2 double into our chain 2. Chain 2, skip 2, and start to repeat over again. Double crochet into the next 5 doubles. 2 double crochets into our chain 2. Chain 2, skip 2, and start that over again. All right, so I will meet you guys at the end of row 15. All right, be right back. All right, I'm back, and I worked my last set of 7 here, the last 2 into my chain 2 space. So now I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet into the last 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one we got to turn a little bit. Right there it is for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there we go. There is row 15. So just chugging right along to row 16. We chain 1 and turn. We're going to double crochet into our very first double. And we're going to double crochet into the next 2. 1 and 2. So we have 3 doubles right here. And now you can see we're working on the next part's going to be shifting that chain 2. So we chain 2, skip 2, fill that hole, and go on with our pattern. Double crochet into the next 5. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Shift our chain 2 by chaining 2, skip 2, fill in your hole. All right, so repeat across your blanket. Come back here, and we're going to finish row 16, and we're 1 row closer to the end. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, so we've worked across for row 16. We worked our 2 and then our 5 for our set of 7. So now we chain 2, skip 2, 2 doubles into the last chain 2, and then we're just going to finish it off with a double into the last 3 doubles. 1, 2, and turn that for that last one, 3. All right, so that's the end of row 16. Moving on to row 17. We chain 1 and turn. Double crochet into our very first. And now we're going to double crochet into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we got to shift our hole, so we need to fill it with 2 doubles, chain 2, skip 2, double into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you guys know the repeat by now. Fill it and shift it. Chain 2, skip 2. All right, so repeat your pattern across the row and come back here, and we are going to finish off row 17. Okay, so I've made it across my little sample here. I worked into my chain 2 with 2 doubles, chain 2, skip 2, double into the next 5. I'm going to fill my space with 2 doubles, 1 and 2. Now I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, 1 double into the very last double crochet. And that is how we're going to end row 17. So moving on to 18. We chain 1 and turn. And I'm tangled up here. Row 18 starts with a double into our very first. And then we're going to work 2 double crochet into that chain 2. We're going to fill that hole. Now we're going to double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to chain 2, skip 2, fill in our hole to shift our chain 2. So you guys know the pattern with your sets of 7 and chain 2s. So go ahead and work across row 18. There's my set of 7. So I chain 2, skip 2, fill in the chain 2 with 2 doubles, and then finish it off. All right, so work across your blanket, get done with row 18, and then once again come back here and we're going to finish this off. All right, so you've made it across row 18. To finish that off, we are going to work our 2 double crochet into our chain 2. We're going to double crochet into the next 5, just like normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into our very last. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so that is the end of our row 18. We are so close, guys. Here's row 19. Turn my pattern page. All right, we are going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to double crochet into our very first double. We're going to double crochet into that chain 1 space, and now we're just going to shift it by chaining 2, skip 2, double crochet into the very next, and then start your set of 5, finish it off with the last 2 in the chain 2 space, just like we have the whole blanket. Okay. Now we chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 5. You guys got this. So go ahead and finish your row 19 and then come back here and I'm going to show you how we're going to finish it off. All right. Okay, you've made it across your row. We're ready to finish it off. So we worked our 2 double crochet into our last chain 2 space. Chain 2, we're going to skip 2, and then we're going to double crochet into the last 6. And that's how we finish off row 19. 2, 3, 4, 5, and the very last one, we got to rotate to C, and there is 6. All right, so move on to row 20. We're so close. We chain 1 and turn. Double crochet into our very first double. And we're going to double crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, skip 2, fill in our hole with 1 and 2, double into your next 5 for your sets of 7. So you guys can finish row 20 just like we have been. Follow your pattern. There's our set of 7, chain 2, skip 2, fill in the hole. All right, finish your row 20 and come back here, and we are going to finish this row off and start the very last row of our repeat. Okay, so to finish off row 20, I worked my pattern across, filled in my chain 2, double crochet into the next 5. I need to shift that, so I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochet into my chain 2, double crochet into your last 2 double crochets. There is the end of row 20. All right, so to move on to our very last row of our repeat, we are going to chain 1 and turn. Oops, daisy, didn't mean to do that. We are going to double crochet into our very first double. And we're going to double crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. 2 doubles into your chain 2. So we're filling the hole. Now we need to shift the hole, chain 2, skip 2, and there you go. There is the pattern to start row 21. So you guys got this by now. I'd like to think. If you don't and you need help, email me and I will be more than happy to help you guys. So we're shifting the chain 2 this way. So we got to fill it. And start over. Chain 2, skip 2. But like I was saying, if you need help with this at all, my email is in the description box. Shoot me an email and I will get to you ASAP and help you out, and we will get this to where you guys can get the pattern down if you need help. All right, so finish your row 21, come back here. Well, work your row 21 till the end, come back here, and then we will finish this off together. Okay, so to finish off our very last row of our repeat, I worked into this chain 2. I filled that, chain 2, skip 2, double into the next 5, fill that chain 2, skip 2, and we're going to double crochet into the last 2. And that is the last row of our 18 row repeat. So that is how you are going to work the blanket. Now you're going to start over with row 4. Just rewind your video till you see my post-it. Go to row 4. Then work row 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Start that over again and just repeat that until you guys get to the length you want. Now here's the cool part. It does not matter what row you end on. You can end on row 10. You can end on row 12. End on row 19. It doesn't matter. However you want to work this. Okay, so you keep repeating row 4 through 21 until you get to the length you like. Now I did work mine to 41.5 inches. So once you guys get to your length, you stop working your pattern and you're going to work the finishing row. And the finishing row is simply a chain 1, and we're going to turn and we're going to work a double into each double. So there's our very first double. Here's our next double. And then into each of your chain 2s with 2 doubles. Double into each double until your next chain 2. Now, depending where you ended on, it'll be in different places, right? So, like, you know, you may have worked just a few, and then there's another chain 2. Since I ended on row 21, I'm going to double crochet into each double till my chain 2. Fill that up with 2 doubles. Double crochet into each double until your next chain 2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this finishing row off camera because this video is kind of long already. I'll be right back. Okay, I've double crocheted into each double, 2 into my chain 2s. I've got 1 more here at the end to work into. Chain 1, pull up a loop, cut, weave in your ends, and then give yourself a pat on the back because there is your baby blanket. It's so adorable. This is one of those patterns that once you get the hang of, you know, the concept of shifting our 7 and all that, you guys can watch, you know, watch TV, watch your movie, watch your favorite crime movie or crime show, and not have to pay too much attention. I mean, you obviously got to do a little, but not too bad. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys make some really cute, adorable baby blankets with this pattern. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment and hit that thumbs up button and email me. Check out the description box. There's all kinds of links down there for you guys so you can join me and follow me on all the social media platforms. And that's it, guys. Oh, excuse me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.